Yay. Well, I am welcome. Oh, we'll let you know. I think we're live. And now we're live. Boom. We're live on the Apollo Digital stage here with Christian McBride. Welcome, Christian.
I'm so honored. You have no idea what this means to me to be able to have this conversation with you and to do this on the Apollo feed today.
Well, number one, we are honored for so many reasons, because like I was saying before, it's so amazing to have, this array of luminaries and really forward thinking, artists in our mix as a part of the Apollo's mix, but more importantly on today, on the International Day of Jazz.
That's right.
So it's exciting just to be gathered here to celebrate jazz and its history and jazz's long history at the Apollo. The Apollo's 86 years old. I like to talk about all the time our first lady of jazz, Ella Fitzgerald, to Duke Ellington, to the list goes on and on.
Right.
And also supporting and nurturing what's next in the jazz world.
Yes, so big kudos to you and everyone at the Apollo for always doing such a marvelous job at staying contemporary while still having a very, very strong tie to the past, because you can't go forward unless you know where you've been. And you guys always go forward with an eye on history. That's so important.
That's right. That's definitely where we like to stay grounded and rooted. So, well, let me ask you this, Christian, because I consider you, one of those musicians who are definitely taking the culture and our culture forward. But drawing on your past inspiration and speaking about the Apollo, talk to me about maybe one of your first memory of the Apollo and music.
Well, the Apollo Theater is one of those places where I feel like certain things and people you just know when you're born. No one has to teach them to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I always knew who like Hank Aaron was. I always knew who George Washington was, just because these are people you just see in your everyday, at least I saw in my everyday life as a kid. And the Apollo Theater was one of those places. And I grew up in Philly. And Philly, of course, had the Uptown Theater,
right.
But it was very well known that the Apollo was like the creme de la creme of all the venues for African-American artists. My first trip inside of the Apollo, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was in September of 1994 to see who else? Mr. James Brown. He was making what would become his final live album at the Apollo, Live at the Apollo Volume 4. And a 5-night run, and I was there for the last 2 nights. I went early, stayed all day, stayed all night after the gig, hung out with the band, and that was kind of the beginning of me kind of getting my way into the James Brown vortex.
Interesting. And what's so brilliant is that you produced, curated, and also performed in such a really brilliant celebration of James Brown and his music in that time period, concert called Say It Loud last season. So thank you for that. And you know what I love, Christian, is that your music and the music where you lives in a lot of different categories, right? Because, you jazz musician, but also James Brown, right? So this is jazz and funk. So can you just talk to me a little bit about how your approach to the blurring of those lines, or do you even see lines like, in that respect?
No, I look at, first of all, I feel deeply that American music is Black music. So there's really no need to make a distinction between the two. If you're talking about great American music, you're talking about Black music. So I look at it as this very big tree and these branches of gospel, blues, jazz, funk, whatever it is, all the way to hip hop. It's all part of this same huge tree. So I think I was fortunate because I had a lot of music being played in the house. I'm a 4, 5, 6-year-old kid, and I would hear James Brown followed up by John Coltrane, followed up by Beethoven, followed up by the Chambers Brothers, followed up by Horace Silver. So I was never taught either consciously or subliminally, like these were different types of music that should be in different categories. It was all like one big melting pot of musical genius.
That's right. That's right. Well, I think you really do embody that in all of your music. And oh my gosh, I see so many chats here. We've got folks from everywhere, from Sleepy Hollow, New York, Rio de Janeiro, South Carolina. So welcome everyone on our chat. I just want to shout everyone out. I also want to say that I'm really looking forward to welcoming Stefon Harris, Apollo New Works artist, and Matthew, who's going to talk a little bit about, you talk about bringing music forward, a little bit about his innovation, as well as Matthew Whitaker, a prodigy who won Amateur Night at the Apollo and has made the Apollo stage his home. One thing to mention, in light of the world that we're living in right now, it's because of generous supporters at the Apollo. We are a nonprofit organization and have been since 1991. And it's because of generous support that the Apollo has been able to continue its commitment to, like you said, Black music and African-American artists and African diaspora creative expression, projecting our the role in the development of American and global culture. But now we're at a point, because of COVID-19, the Apollo needs, everyone's support as we navigate the negative economic effects of COVID-19. So to all of those out there who are watching, if you are able, please consider making a donation. It's apollotheater.org/giving. It will be running across the bottom throughout the course of our program today. So just wanted to shout that out. But now,
in the words of Reverend Knight, no change. Dollar bills, please.
That's right. That's right. There we go. There we go. Absolutely in support of the Apollo for sure. For Christian, I know folks are tuning in, and I know they want to hear you. So now it's time for some really brilliant, genius music.
Well,
Christian, we invite you to take it away.
I'll do my best not to bore everybody to death with tonal bass. I'm going to try to do a little something. What an honor to be here again, Kamilah, and everyone in the Apollo family. It is International Jazz Day, so while I'm playing the song, please jump in and tell me who your favorite jazz artists are of all time. All right, I'm going to play a little blues for you. This song is a very, very old song. A lot of jazz musicians have recorded this song, but also someone like Sam Cooke recorded this song. And this is an old blues called Frankie and Johnny. There we are, Frankie and Johnny. I hope that you enjoyed that. Let's see, we're talking about jazz and the Apollo. You know, there's, I guess depending on who you speak to, you'll get different answers on like, what was the Apollo's golden age? And a lot of people say the 60s, you know, because James Brown was hot and Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, all of the great R&B and soul stars. But literally every single modern jazz star, as Kamilah mentioned, everyone from Duke Ellington all the way down to Jason Moran, you know, people who are very contemporary and out there doing great things now, have played the Apollo. And it's one person that I've been very honored to work with for so many years is the legendary pianist and composer Chick Corea. And Chick Corea tells a great story about playing the Apollo Theater. I believe he said in 1961 or 62 with the great Cuban percussionist Mago Santamaria. All kinds of cats played in Mago's band. He's a very underrated band leader. Everybody from Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Pat Patrick, Sonny Fortune, all kinds of cats played in that band. But anyway, Chick tells the story of playing with Mongo at the Apollo, and on that bill was Thelonious Monk. And everybody in the band was so excited to see and hear Monk. And so Monk was backstage just before he walks on stage, and there's a little mirror there. And he said on the break, like while Mongo's band was on, he kept looking over to see if Monk was looking. And he said the whole break, Monk was in the mirror like this. For like 40 straight minutes, just checking himself out in the mirror. And so Chick said after he comes off the stage, he goes over and says, he was just about to walk up to Monk to say hello. And Monk could see Chick looking at him, you know, in the mirror. So he kind of looks at Chick through the mirror and does like this. You know, like made his tie go back and forth like that. And Chick said he took that as sort of Monk's hello. So just the mere thought of seeing Thelonious Monk, Mongo Santamaria, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, all of these great artists who played the Apollo. Of course, people like Nina Simone and Dinah Washington, but the Apollo has always been a haven for the greatest jazz artists ever, and it continues to be that. After I play this next song for you, I can't wait to tell you about the first time I played the Apollo Theater. It might shock you to find out who my first gig at the Apollo was with. Okay, so this next song I'd like to play for you is an old standard that so many great vocalists and instrumentalists have recorded. People from Dexter Gordon to Sarah Vaughan to Ella Fitzgerald. I hope you enjoy Polka Dots and Moonbeams. Polka dots and moonbeams. Sorry that was a little rusty, but you get the vibe, I hope. So my first time gigging at the Apollo Theater was Christmas of 2004. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier, you know, I grew up in Philadelphia, and I grew up very much an R&B kid, a soul kid, a jazz kid, a little bit of a rock kid, just a little bit. Some pop, you know, obviously pop, because pop is that's in your life whether you want it to be or not. But I got a call in 2004 from the great singer-songwriter Carly Simon. Carly Simon said, "Christian, I have a string of Christmas dates, and I'm wondering if you will play with me." I said, "Sure, I'll be honored to play with you, Miss Simon." And the last gig on this run of dates was at the Apollo. And I just remember going to the rehearsal room, which is now the Apollo Music Cafe. At the time we rehearsed in there, and I just kind of remember just being there like, wow, I'm gigging at the Apollo. And so instead of playing instead of my first bass line ever played at the Apollo being something like it was you Carly Simon fans should know what that is. But yes, it was all good, man. I had a wonderful time playing with Carly Simon. BB Winans was also a special guest on that gig. Livingston Taylor, James' brother, was on that gig. Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20 was on that gig. And CC came and sat. We played for 2 nights. CC sat in on one night. It was just an amazing show. I put what I thought was a really cool band together. And yeah, that was my first time playing the Apollo, Christmas of 2004. And of course, the last time I was at the Apollo, I can't believe it's been over a year already, was Say It Loud at 50. It was a tribute to James Brown and all the great music that he spawned during that era of the late 60s and early 70s, all those great message songs that Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud inspired. So that was in October of 2018. And I got to say, that's probably, I mean, other than playing with James Brown himself, that might have been the second, or at least somewhere in the top 5 of the greatest gigs I've ever played in my life. So thank you, Apollo. Let's see. It is International Jazz Day, and right now I would like to bring to the screen a dear friend of mine who's a fantastic composer, instrumentalist, educator, app developer. This dude does it all. He's very much a Renaissance man, and I believe he is a Apollo new music artist. The Apollo has commissioned him to write some new music, and it's going to be smoking. Please, ladies and gentlemen, say yo to my brother, Mr. Stefon Harris.
How's everybody doing out there? It's nice to see you, my brother. It's been a while.
There he is.
I was saying earlier, man, I haven't seen you in a while, but then again, I see you everywhere doing everything.
And I'm sorry if I'm all up in the way. I'm gonna go like this from now on.
Oh, we need you more than ever, bro.
Oh, but man, Stefon, you've been someone who we all have admired and respected for so long, and man, you always got something cool going on. Tell me about this thing you have with the Apollo New Music Work. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so we're coming up on 100 years of the Harlem Renaissance. So what an amazing celebration. And I think one of the things that the Apollo is doing to celebrate the Harlem Renaissance is bringing various artists from different disciplines together to create, which is what happened during the Harlem Renaissance. You had a confluence of genius from writers to dancers to doctors to lawyers being brought together in a single community, and we're able to utilize that confluence to create something so much more beautiful than they could have done on their own. And I look at what the Apollo is doing right now, and I think it's creating those same types of conditions for innovation to occur. So for my part, I've been very much focused in the world of education. It is my life passion. I always frame it that I'm dedicating my life to the proliferation of empathy through the arts in all of its forms. So we celebrate understanding and empathy when we get on the bandstand and play music with my group Blackout. We celebrate empathy and amplify those values in the classroom with the apps that I developed. They're all tools to help people learn to hear and understand one another. So I'm excited to bring that passion for empathy, for listening into my composition that I'll be writing for the Apollo. I'm going to utilize the algorithms from my apps to actually create music live with software and musicians, where the software is actually controlling the harmony. So the musicians have to be vulnerable. We got to be compassionate with one another, because we actually won't know what's coming next. And we also find ways to engage the audience and being comfortable with the unknown, which is what this music
would you call it sort of a modern day version? Like if the app is determining the harmony, you don't know what's coming, you got to react. And you got to hear what that is. Is that sort of like a new age Suzuki method?
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, it's many times when people learn an art form, particularly in an institution, is generally been codified into some system, and people sort of learn step one, step two, and then they end up creating a lot of music that may sound the same. But the cultural circumstance that gave birth to this art form is one in which you had oppressed people who didn't have the opportunity to sing the truth about who they were. The only time that they could get together and sing the truth about who they were would have been in church, and it would have been through music. And if you had one chance throughout the week to stand up and sing the truth, you wouldn't be trying to sing from some system. You would be singing whatever's on your heart in that moment. It would be a release. So really, to be successful at an art form like this, it's not just about the technique on your instrument or how much you know about harmony. It's really about how well developed your instincts are. How are you able to react to the feeling of the people in the room? How are you able to react to what's happening around you with the other musicians? And most importantly, how are you able to react with what you're dealing with on the inside? And can you be vulnerable enough to share that with others?
Right. Would you mind terribly if I asked you to give us a little taste, man? Like you make so much magic and color come off of those vibes, man. Can you just give us like a little smidge?
Yeah. So I have my album here. I don't know exactly what chords the app is going to play. I know the first chord and I know the last chord. It's probably going to play about 30 chords. So I'm going to jump in and I'm going to make some music on top of whatever it does, all by ear. Let's see what happens.
You will. And then we have is your son nearby?
Yeah, he's nearby. He's hanging out.
All right, we want to see what you've been showing him too a little later.
Absolutely. All right, here you go.
Yeah, man. That's so much fun. I was really I wanted to interrupt you, but to jump in there too.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, I hear E7 sharp 9 in there.
Yeah.
I hear some A minor, some D minor. I said, let me get a little taste. I'm like, no. Let me stay out my man's way.
And you know, that's what's happening on the bandstand, right? Like, a lot of people in the audience don't necessarily realize that it's unpredictable. You don't know exactly the chord that the pianist is going to play at any given moment. You got to be paying attention and be able to react.
You got that right, man. You got that right. Now, tell us about you. You were telling us that you were showing your 7-year-old son some stuff on Vibes, right?
Yeah, I have two boys, Langston and Ellison, and I was thinking about, you know, one of the effects of this pandemic and being home. You know, there are some challenges, but then there's also some bright lights in it all. And for me,
absolutely,
part of it has been being able to have a values check, right? Where I'm on the road a lot, constantly busy. It's been amazing to be home with my kids. And so my 7-year-old, he kind of likes music a little bit. So I was like, okay, I've never really showed him the vibraphone. So about a week ago, maybe about 2 weeks ago, I said, come on, man, let me show you a little bit about the blues. So every day I just show him a little bit more. So he said he wanted to come on and play a chorus or two of the blues, if that's all right with you.
Come on, man.
All right, so this is Ellison Kendall Harris, his little debut. Come here, buddy. Come say hi. Here's the superstar right here. Say what's up, man.
All right. I can see the genius beaming off of him already.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna go to the piano. You're gonna go to the box. Okay. We'll play a chorus or two. He's ready. He ready. Ready? Come on. We're gonna play the blues down there. You're gonna start with the home. You're gonna play the mean guy. You're gonna play Bender.
Okay.
Here we go.
I can't. I just can't, man. That is so amazing. Now, see, he plays like his dad with so much intelligence, soul, and attitude. That's awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely awesome.
He's ready. He's got the attitude.
You better, ladies and gentlemen,
this is Langston.
Yo, what's up?
Langston's a computer scientist in the family.
There they are. Just genius, all on top of genius in the Harris household.
Yeah, bro.
That's beautiful, man. Congratulations. Get a good look at him now, everybody, because pretty soon you're going to be paying a lot more money to see him do what he just did. Yeah, wow. Thank you very much, Brother Harris.
All right, man. I wish you continued success. I can't wait to get on the bandstand with you in the future, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Young gentlemen, keep doing your thing, and I look forward to seeing you soon. All right, you guys.
All right. Good job, guys.
How about it for the Harris family, ladies and gentlemen? Wasn't that deep? That was absolutely amazing. Yeah, Stefon, you heard him say how much he dedicated himself to education. And that's what it's all about. We got to each one teach one. You know, we can't sit around talking about how these young folks don't know nothing about no good music. You know, you got to teach it to them. Don't hold it for yourself. teach it. So thank you, Stefon. I'm going to play a third song for you. Although after what we just heard, I know you really don't want to hear this now, but I'm going to play another old standard for you that has been recorded and played by so many musicians all across the board. And while I'm playing the song, name some of your favorite jazz songs in the comments. Just like to hear where you guys are. You know, I want to hear what your favorite songs are. So anyway, this song is called Alone Together, because that's what many of us are, alone together. Alone Together. I sincerely hope you enjoyed that. That's one of my favorite go-to songs when I have to play a solo bass thing. Next time I play it, it'll be really good, promise you. You know, speaking of education, as Stefon both explained and demonstrated with his young son, I've also been quite dedicated to education, and so has my wife, who's a brilliant vocalist and visionary. Her name is Melissa Walker, and she started an organization called Jazz House Kids, which is based right here in Montclair, New Jersey, where we live. And many years ago, I can't even remember, definitely over 10 years ago, we met this little kid who was just tearing up the piano and the organ. And he came through our program, and we always knew that he was going to be a major star. And at this point, we're pretty correct, because this young man has gone on to just slay every gig he's ever played. And I know he is now an Apollo regular, and he's slayed the stage at the Apollo many times. And we're just so proud of him. We don't even know what to do, man. This young man is something else. Won't you please welcome Mr. Matthew Whitaker? Where you at, my man?
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey. Can you hear me and you see me?
Oh, we hear you. We just need somebody to you're upside down. Okay. I mean, I guess we can fix that. Let me see. Let me see.
My dad's doing that. He's just making the iPad. How about now?
It looks right too.
It looks. My mom's here too. Could it be the camera?
It looks right.
The way that you're
It looks right.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, I guess we could make it. Might be a little. Let's see.
Just leave it right.
Yeah, he's fine. People are saying I'm just.
If you turn this way,
people are
it
saying
kinda
on
works.
the live stream that it's fine.
Yeah, I wish we could. You're upside down. I wish we could.
I think you're sideways. I think. You're probably sideways, but it's alright. It's alright.
Nah, we got a bunch of people online that say I'm not Well, I'm sideways at the moment because I'm trying to look at you.
Put it back to where he
And hopefully people are laughing at this.
Put it back the way it was.
Oh, is he okay? That's weird.
That's fine now.
There
Why
it
is
is.
he
There it is.
upside
There
down
it is.
on my screen? Oh, well. Maybe I'll just keep it that way anyway, just to kind of keep it. Yeah, that's funny. Anyhow, you're upside down on my screen. Oh, well. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. It's been a minute.
Is that, I wonder if they could turn you up a little bit.
Ooh. Turn the volume up. Hello, 1, 2.
There you go. There you go.
How's that?
That's a little better.
All right.
Well, man, you were just out there doing it, my man, and congratulations on all your success. You're now a student at the Yard, which is where I went.
Yeah.
And just to catch us up, man. What you been doing?
Oh, been doing classes at Juilliard. I've been lately since I've been home, I've been doing a lot more recording. With all the equipment here, but other than that, it's been pretty good. Yeah, it's been a while since I last saw you.
What happened when this thing broke out?
Well, we see you, brother, because you out there killing it. We saw you on 60 Minutes. Congratulations on that amazing segment.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I've probably only seen, in my lifetime, I've probably only seen maybe 5 people, 5 musicians, jazz musicians be featured on 60 Minutes. Mm-hmm. And one of them was Wynton, who was featured twice. So probably 4 musicians.
The other one was Marcus Roberts too, I believe.
That's correct. That's correct. What do you have? What are you working on now, man? You always got something going on.
Yeah. I've been working on some instrumentals currently for our church, since we're doing virtual music now. But I've been also doing some original writing as well. I've been experimenting with different ideas. Yeah, I've been I've been experimenting on organ a lot as well. So.
Well, I know you're sitting at one of your instruments. I've been to your basement studio, and you just got like a wonderful setup down there.
Yeah.
And you got to give us a taste of something, man. You know we're not gonna let you out of here unless you play something.
Can you hear this? You hear that?
Yeah, I mean, we have no problem with more volume. So if you could turn it up, the keyboard and yourself. Woo! Come on now, bring it.
All right, that should be fine. Since it's International Jazz Day, you mind if I do a little Latin?
I don't mind what you do, as long as you got those hands on the piano. Whatever you do is all right with us, brother. Oh my goodness. Maddie, you something else, man.
Thank you so much.
So we are all so proud of you, and we can't wait to see your career just continue to blossom. And you're such a good person, also, and that's what's really going to carry you to the next level, man. Because your heart is gold.
Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and
we lost you.
we thank you for doing such an awesome job.
Oh, thank you so much.
And one of these days, once this nightmare with this virus is over, I'm going to sneak up on you at Juilliard. I'm going to sit in one of your classes.
That'd be amazing.
You know, one of these days, I thought of actually going back to Juilliard to finish my degree. I left Juilliard to go to the University of Freddie Hubbard, but yeah, man. Congratulations, brother. Keep doing your thing, and we look forward to seeing you real soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Matthew Whitaker, ladies and gentlemen. Ain't he something else? Gosh, he is just so amazing. And I've been looking at some of your songs. Some of you have picked some of your favorite jazz songs. Let's see. Somebody put down Lush Life. Ain't no way in the world I'm going to play that as solo bass right now. I got a shed on that. But I will get that for you at some point. But you don't want to hear me perform a comedy routine right now, because that's what that would be if I tried to play Lush Life as solo bass. I think I saw my buddy Allison Williams the great Allison Williams. What's going on, my dear? Allison and I were actually supposed to be on the road in June, but unfortunately, we're going to have to wait till next year to do that. But she said play in the wee small hours of the morning. Let's see if I can do that. It's been a while. In the wee small hours of the morning, when the whole wide world is fast asleep. All right, that's the best I could do, improvised. So that sounded more like in the wee busy hours of the afternoon, but hope you dug that. Let's see. I would like to bring Kamilah Forbes back to the screen and close it out with my friend, this genius person.
No, after all that, I have nothing to offer. Oh my gosh, Christian. Look, I'm sitting here like trying to, I have nothing. I've got nothing, but thank you. And thank you to.
I need to go share that we get off of this.
Right, right. Wow, that was amazing. I mean, thanks to Matthew, to Stefon, to Allison, to Langston, and also, to you, Christian, thank you. We were supposed to actually have a weekend residency with Christian McBride in June, which would have been right. Friends. And, unfortunately, we were unable to do it in person, but I think we just did it.
Hey, technology can be a good thing.
That's right. That's right. So I just want to thank you for your time. And that was such a beautiful afternoon. I mean, my spirit is singing. So thank y'all for that and celebrating International Day of Jazz and in the only way the Apollo could. So we really appreciate that. And I just want to repeat to all of our viewers out there who are here from all over the world. I saw a Trinidad and Tobago shout out just now, as well as New Jersey, as well as Manhattan Plaza, all over the country. About the Apollo, again, it's because of your generous support that the Apollo has been able to move the energy of our stages into the digital space. And we will continually, are asking for your support during this as we navigate this economic effects of COVID. If you can make a gift, please visit apollotheater.org. /giving. It's right below. If you go right to our website, there's a Give Now button right there. But also tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. Tune in on Facebook for a program called Intermission. This is our first DJ dance party with DJ Spinna, celebrating the one and only James Brown. So we'll have a little dance party. Exactly, right? That's one of your
That's
favorites.
right. James Brown's birthday is this weekend.
It's on Sunday.
That's
And
right.
on Sunday at 3 p.m., please tune in again because we're rebroadcasting a very special Apollo Live Wire exploring the legacy of Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, featuring you, Christian, and Mark Anthony Neal, DJ KS360, DJ Mama Soul, and DJ Liquid. So there is much to celebrate.
I can't wait to see that.
That's right. Full of soul and energy because I think we need
That was a fun day.
It was a fun day. It was an absolutely fun day. So let's relive it again and share it with some more people. So thank you, Christian. Thank you. In our comments, thank you all and everything that you've been adding to our virtual community. We hope that you continue to feel at home in this virtual community because the Apollo, we want to bring the home spirit of the Apollo to you wherever you all are across the world. Thanks for watching, and we hope you continue to tune in.
And before we sign off, I want to give a special shout out to the great Herbie Hancock, who was instrumental in creating International Jazz Day. So Herbie, wherever you are, well, I know where you are. You at home like everybody else. So shout out to Herbie, the Hancock Institute, UNESCO, and everybody just fighting the good fight for this music.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, everybody. And we hope to talk to you guys soon.
Peace.